Hey there guys, so today's tutorial is on the C cap. Now caps are a type of movement that even just a couple years ago were considered pretty techy, but more and more in the past few years I've been seeing people within their first year pick this type of movement up. The past few months I've been teaching a new technique for learning this move that I've found is tremendously effective, especially for people who are beginners or intermediates with poi. So I'm going to throw that out there to you guys today because the way that this is traditionally taught I don't feel is all that effective. So let's just dive straight in, shall we? We're going to start off with the easiest ways that you can assemble this move and then move on to some more and more complex ways that you can use it, yeah? Groovy. So to start off with, I'm going to have my poi turning clockwise and reach my right hand all the way across as far as it can go onto my left side, right? Now, as the poi is rotating, you'll note this moment when the poi head is coming down, brushes past the center line of my body, right? The next time it goes through that point, we're actually going to let the poi head just drop straight down center line. And you'll note that when this happens, I'm letting it drag my hand. We're familiar with this kind of movement from stalls, right? But what we're going to do instead of just letting it stall is we're going to pull the hand even further out to the right. And it's going to make the poi continue to rotate clockwise. So altogether, that's we drop it and we pull it out. And you'll note it creates this nice little divot in the middle, this nice little drop. And now we're out on the right-hand side of our body, right? Now the way we get back to the left-hand side of the body is a little bit more complex. This is a lot harder to learn, and there's a lot of subtlety in this. What you're going to have to do is you're actually probably going to want to slow down the movement of the poi just a little bit, and you'll see why in a second. What you're going to try and do is drag your hand and the poi head across your body in such a fashion that they stay parallel. That is, if the poi is wanting to get around back on top of your hand is going to try and race the poi such that they stay parallel and the poi head can't get above it. This is happening as the poi head is moving under the hand, right? Cool. So when you get back over to the left-hand side of your body, a lot of the momentum of the poi is going to be lost. So you're going to have to give it just a little bit of a flick to get it rotating again, yeah? So once again, that's you drag and flick it to get it rotating again. This is going to feel pretty awkward the first few times you do it, but once you get everything as a continuous movement, it's going to feel progressively less and less awkward, right? So our first move, of course, is we drop the poi and pull it out. Our second move is that we drag it across. We drop the poi, pull it out, drag it across. Now, ideally what you want to be able to get to is a point where you can go straight back and forth between these. So say, for example, you count yourself down, 1, 2, 3 beats, I dip, 1, 2, 3 beats, I drag, 1, 2, I dip, 1, 2, I drag. And once you get down to the 1, you should just be going straight back and forth between that dip and the drag back across, like so. It's going to be really tempting to have a drag that goes all the way across the top again and then to get your pedal in on the side and then drag it back across, like so. Try and buck the temptation to do that and really emphasize that point where the poi head drops down the center line of your body, right? It's going to feel much more natural to throw in extra beats on either side. Try and avoid the temptation to do that. The best way I've found to do that is actually, this is something that comes from dance, is to realize that you're always arriving. There is no point at which you can stop and think, okay, what's my next move? The moment you've begun a move, you already have to be thinking about what the next move after that's going to be. So as I'm dipping, I'm already thinking I got to drag it. As I'm dragging, I'm already thinking I got to dip it. So ultimately, the poi head should be pointing down underneath the hand only twice in the course of this move, yeah? Once you've got that down, it's time to add some curve to the movement of the hand. You'll note we've been going straight back and forth across the body in a straight line. Well, if we curve the path that the hand is going along such that it drops down and around and then drops back down and around again, it's going to change the pattern such that it's going to look a bit like a C, hence a C cap. So, as we're rotating clockwise, when we dip, we're going to think that the poi is actually dragging the hand down with it, yeah? Like so. And then we're going to drag it straight back down in that big, wide half circle arc. And the result should be this lovely pattern where you have an anti-spin going down one way and a big, giant, extensive circle going back the other way, right? Cool. So, if this technique works with the anti-spin pedal pointed down, we can also make it work with the anti-spin pedal pointed to the side. So, to do that, we're once again going to start off clockwise, but this time the poise is going to start off center of our body down low, and we're going to pop it straight out to the right, catch it, or, just give it a little bit of a loop, I don't care which one. Continue popping the hands straight up, right? So we go pop it to the side and continue on up. And then the hard part is that as the poise coming back around to come down, just like before, you have to try and get your hand to catch up with the poi head as it's dropping, such that they go down parallel together, yeah? So it's pop it out, drag it down, 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 yeah? And once again, if we curve the hand out to the right, we wind up with our familiar C shape. Which is awesome because great things start happening if you put your two hands together, both accomplishing this movement simultaneously. We can start off with both of the hands together going the same direction, in which case the poi are creating those anti-spin moments and extension moments together. Or we can deliberately clash those pieces against each other such that if one hand starts high and one hand starts low, one is always performing anti-spin as the other is performing extension. One of the great things about this move is that it allows you to be able to create that clash. If you want to go up a level of difficulty, you can also try rotating the poi the other direction, the counterclockwise way, and do the anti-spin on the way down and the extension on the way up. When you get that down, you can contrast the hands together with the poi going opposite directions, such that when you keep the hands together, you're always clashing an anti-spin against an extension. Or if you keep them apart, you're always going to be clashing an you're always going to be doing anti-spin at the same time and always doing extension at the same time. And this is actually a really, really helpful tool once you get your anti-spin flowers down to switch back and forth between them and extensions, like so. Cool, huh? So, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next Friday with another tutorial right before I head on into Burning Man. And yeah, I will see you guys then. Thanks so much, and have a great week. Peace.